Good evening, my dear kids. My dear kids of the 9th standard science of the expert school. This is Mithun Raj, your science teacher signing in from this part of the world. Okay, I hope all of you are feeling great in these pandemic situations and all. Anyway, most of the peoples in this world now they are not caring about this disease. Actually, it is nothing, I think. Maybe it will come and it will go. Like a flu, who cares about that? Anyway, I'm Mithun Raj signing in from this part of the world. So we were discussing about a particular chapter called "Is Matter Around Us Pure?" Okay. Once again, I rewind with that chapter. Then I came to know that one part we missed. It was regarding this one, physical and chemical changes. Okay, that is also a particular part in that chapter. Actually, we covered this portion in the first chapter. Okay, that was it. Properties of matter. In the first chapter we studied about physical and chemical change. In this chapter also same. Some questions especially comes from this chapter. Okay. So I am making this video log regarding this chapter. Is matter around us pure? To confirm that, we need to what? We need to make a quick revision also for that chapter, isn't it? A quick revision. Only the important parts I am telling in these videos and all. The notes, whatever I am given, that's the main part. Anyway, in this chapter there is no lots of equations and all. Okay, like the chapter motion, it does not need that much explanation. Okay, what all definitions are there, it will directly come from that notes or textbook. Not a very difficult chapter. Only some basic things regarding chemistry, but very important things for your future also. Okay. So for matter you already studied. Anything which occupies space is matter. Two types of matter is there, pure and impure. Pure matter we can say elements or compounds. Impure matter we can say is mixtures. Different types of mixtures we study. Pure substance means pure elements. For example, gold, oxygen, hydrogen, only oxygen. And compounds, for example, H2O, water, only water particles are there. That type of particles are called as pure. But in the case of impure, we studied that milk is not an impure matter. Milk, because it contains a lots of mixtures, like water is there, H2O is there, lactose is there, fat is there, sugar is there. Sugar means lactose, same. So it's a mixture. Understand? Proteins, vitamins, lots of things are there in milk. Bacteria are there inside milk. Can you believe that? Bacteria are there. Yes, sure. Bacteria are also there in milk. Even if we are taking the fresh milk from the cow, that milk also contains bacteria. And that bacteria is behind the lactose changes into lactic acid because of the help of these bacteria and all. Just leave it, that's not our part. Next one is what? Mixtures. We studied mixtures. Two types of mixtures, homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Homogeneous mixtures are mixtures in which substances are completely mixed together. Okay? And particles are not distributed uniformly, means if something is dissolved in water, we won't even notice that. A good example is we mix sugar in water. After mixing it, if you look, any change in that water? No, still it is water. There is no change in volume, there is no change in anything. But still it is water. But if you taste it, its taste is different now. Isn't it? Yes, that's it. Next one is heterogeneous mixtures are there. Those mixtures in which substances remain separate as different particles. For example, if we mix chalk powder in water, if we closely look, we can see that small particles of chalk visible. How much time if we mix it, then also it won't mix together. Isn't it? If we add some, oil into water, same will happen. Will the oil mix into that water? No. Oil will be at the top of the water. Same. If we add sand into the water, Just stir for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. No change will happen. Okay. So that types of mixtures are called as homogeneous. And these are mixtures are divided into three: solution, colloids, and what? Suspension. Okay, solution, colloids, and suspension. These names are important. Okay, these names are something new for you. Actually, it is nothing. Solution means what? The particle is very small. It's a homogeneous mixture, a completely mixed mixture. That's why it is called as solution. Sugar solution, salt solution. The particles are completely mixed. Completely mixed means the size of the particle will be very small. 1 nanometer, that is the size of the particle. 1 nanometer means 1 into 10 raised to 9 minus 9 meter. 1 nanometer, just study that. Okay. And in solution there is two types of things: solute and solvent. For example, in the glass of water with sugar, which is more? Water is more and sugar is less. So sugar is the solute and water is the solvent. And also one more general knowledge question: which thing is known as the universal solvent? Of course it is water, because almost all the things in this world dissolves in water. Only a few materials are there which won't dissolve in water. That's why water is known as universal solvent. Okay, that's it. Types of solutions you already studied. Solubility. What is solubility of a particular solvent? Solubility means if you take 100 grams of solvent, and if we add solute into that, you are continuously adding solute into that 100 gram of solvent at a particular level. Till a particular level, the solute is dissolved into the solvent. And after that, whatever we add, it won't dissolve. That particular level is known as the solubility. There is an equation for that. That two equations is directly given. Only that two equations are there. Okay, only that two equations are there. For example, other equations like how to find the mass percentage and how to find the volume percentage of a solution, of a concentration of a solution. Two equations are there. Mass of the solute divided by mass of the solution into solute plus solvent. Same equation. Volume means volume of the solute. Anyway, that equation is given. Okay, equation is given means there is no any substitution in that. Okay, so if you studied motion means it will be just like this for you. Directly question will come. Mass of the solvent will be given, mass of the solution will be given. Just divide it and do the calculation. You will get the answer. So that is called as solubility. Next, colloidal solution means the size of the particles is bit more bigger. Okay, and it is not completely soluble. For example, blood. Okay, in blood, the particles are a bit more bigger. Okay, next one is suspension. Again, the particles are very bigger in suspension. It is heterogeneous mixture. For example, mud in water or chalk powder in water or sand in water. And there are different types of separative process regarding this chapter. Okay, 10 separative processes are there: evaporation, sublimation, centrifugation, separating from distillation, fractional distillation, crystallization, chromatography, electrolysis. Only what you want to do for each thing. Again, the distillation diagram is very important. Okay, wait 1 second. Distillation diagram. Distillation diagram is very important. Okay, distillation diagram is in your textbook. That you want to copy it in your syllabus. I think you already have copied it. That diagram is an important thing. Okay, all the next definitions is direct. There is nothing regarding that. So just one more time, I just tell what is this evaporation. For example, in the case of salt and water, there are lots of things in the world which will evaporate before, so it will become vapor before its boiling point. For example, water. In daily sunlight, it will evaporate. That's why rain is coming from the sky, isn't it? Same thing happen. Just place that particular solution in a place. It will evaporate. And it will be, the solute will be separated from the solution. Next one is what? Sublimation. Sublimation means in some cases, if we apply heat, solid will directly become into gas. Some certain types of solids. Understand? For example, sodium directly it becomes gas if we heat. So if two elements are combined between each other, if you want to substitute, you want to take out the solute from the solvent, just bit heat we want to give, because of sublimation that solid will arise into gas, okay, and which material does not have this sublimable property, it will remain at the bottom. That is sublimation, just leave it. Next one is what? Centrifugation. If a solution, solute and solvent contains different density, what will happen? Just in the case of milk, fat has different density, water has different density, lactose has different density. Just put this solvent and solute inside a centrifugal pump. It's a pump like this, okay, and at the end side there will be test tubes. And if you rotate this pump, what will happen? The test tube also will rotate like this, understand? And with that force, what will happen? Centrifugal force, it is called as centrifugal force. So the particle which has high density will go to the end of the test tube. Okay, that is called as centrifugation. You just study the definition. That's the diagrams and all. It is not separating funnel, very easy. It's just a funnel with a tap. Two different liquids with different densities. For example, water and oil. If you pour it into the separating funnel, water will go down bottom and oil will be upside. Just open the tap, water will go down. When the entire water goes down, close it. Water is separated from oil, isn't it? If you have oil in your home, if you have water anyway you have in your home, isn't it? Just mix it together. Mix it together. Just look in a glass, okay, in a glass. Just see, we can see water in downside and oil in upside. If you put a tap down and open the tap, means first water will go out, and at a particular level all the water will go out. Just close it. Oil, water separated, that is separating from distillation. Distillation means to separate two different types of solute and solvent which has different boiling point. For example, in the case of two solutions, okay, two mixtures, mostly liquids, okay, it is not heterogeneous because it is completely mixed between each other. For example, alcohol and water. If you mix alcohol and water, it will be completely mixed. We cannot separate it with this that's funnel. What funnel? Yes, separating funnel. So this process of distillation we are using. Just we will heat it slowly. Heat it slowly. See that funnel and all. Just heat it slowly. What will happen? Water has 100 degrees Celsius of boiling point. Alcohols, I am not sure, I think like 68 degrees. So which which solution will first boil or evaporate or becomes vapor? Of course, alcohol, isn't it? And alcohol will go upside. And when this boiling point of alcohol is reached, we will maintain that temperature. Okay. We won't heat it till 100 degrees Celsius. If we heat that till 100 degrees Celsius, what will happen? The entire water also will evaporate and go upside, and again the mixture of alcohol and water we will get. So there is no use of distillation at that point. But at this point, if we heat the water, heat the solution till only the boiling point of alcohol, then only the alcohol will go outside. Okay? And when the entire alcohol is becoming vapor and after condensation it will come down to a particular small beaker. Okay? Then alcohol is separated from water. That type of separation is called as distillation. Two types of distillation is there: common distillation and fractional distillation. Fractional distillation, if the two solutions boiling point is in between 25 degrees Celsius. So their difference is below 25 degrees Celsius or 25 Kelvin. In that case, we are using what? Fractional distillation. Nothing that. At that point, what we are doing, some extra pressure must be given. So understand? Extra pressure must be given For that, only study the definition. If we go through that means it is difficult for you. Actually, what is really happening? We will put some resistance at the top. For example, like some sand or some some cotton, moist cotton and all. So it needs high pressure to move upside. If two solutions, one's boiling point is 60 degrees Celsius, one's boiling point is 70 degrees Celsius. If we heat it, what will happen? First, this 60 degrees Celsius solution will become vapor and go upside. But this will also start to vaporize. Understand? This will vaporize first, this will vaporize second. Now we have a mixture of vapor inside that small container. But which vapor vaporizes first? Its pressure will be very, very high. Understand? If there is a blockage here, only high pressure will take the block and go outside. Understand how it is happening? That's the difference between fractional distillation and distillation. I think that note, given diagrams, can you see that in that note? I don't know about that, just me check one time. I think that in that note that diagram is there, fractional distillations diagram. What is this? Solubility, sublimation, distillation and... okay, no. Okay, mostly distillation is main, fractional distillation, when the difference between... okay, where is it? Actually the diagram and all is not there, only diagram only comes from distillation. Okay. Actually fractional distillation, that much explanation is not in textbook. Okay. Only you study that when the difference in the boiling point is below 25 degrees Celsius, then we will use fractional distillation. And only because of that pressure, the solution which has less boiling point will go up first. That is fractional distillation. Okay, the next one you got. Next one is, come on. Okay. Centrifugation, separation, distillation, fractional distillation. Crystallization, same like evaporation. Okay. In this case, evaporation is done very, very slowly. So at the end, what is happening? The entire crystal will be formed very, very easily. Next one is chromatography. The process of separating different colors soluble in some liquids. It's a scientific method. Okay, only this definition you study. Okay, this is big for higher study. Only definition and some examples. Separating blood some different types of drugs from blood. Separation of chlorophyll from leaves. Separation of different colors from dye. That's it. Next one is electrolysis. You already know that. Separation of hydrogen and oxygen from water. Just give electricity, it is done. One more separation is there, that is magnetic separation, I think. Okay, particles which has properties of magnetism, for example like cobalt, nickel and iron, that particles can be separated like this. Next two types of changes are there, physical changes and chemical change. This part I didn't explain. Physical change, example, melting of ice. Melting of ice, very good example. That means only physical property is changing. Ice is changing into water, water is changing into vapor. If we heat it, isn't it? That is physical change. But in this case, chemical change means cooking. Cooking of food is a good example for chemical change. Okay, examples are already given in that notes. Some question will come. For example, burning of paper, physical or chemical change. Physical change can be reversed. Okay, it can be reversed. Chemical change cannot be reversed. Already we studied in the first chapter, that's why I am not defining it that much. Okay, some examples are there, just study it. Physical change means some changes happening into the physical nature of it. Okay, it can be brought it back. For example, if the salt is soluble in water means physically physical state is changed. Its chemical property is not changed. By evaporation, we can separate water from salt. So it is a physical change. But in the case of cooking, what type of change is it? We are making something like what? Tea. Tea has sugar, tea has milk, tea has water. Can we separate all these things? In the case of tea, we can separate, no problem. We cannot say it is cooking, okay, it's just heating. Cooking means, for example, if you are making vegetable curry, what is this into my eyes? Vegetable curry. Once it is cooked, can we change it back to that raw vegetables? Now, if you are making chicken curry, once that raw chicken is cooked, can we change it back to that fresh chicken alive? No, it is impossible, isn't it? Such type of changes are called as chemical changes. Only studied about definition and some examples. That's it. That is given in textbook. Just read that textbook. This chapter is that much easy. Okay. Only one equation is there regarding that. What? Mass percentage and volume percentage. Okay. That is also direct question will come. Mass of the solute divided by mass of the solution into solute plus solvent into 100. That is the equation for mass percentage. Volume of is also same. Volume percentage. Volume of the solute divided by volume of the solution into solution plus solvent. Solute plus solvent. So not solute, not solution plus solvent into 100. That's it. That was an easy chapter. Next day we will study the next chapter of biology. Okay, yes, biology we will start it. That's also which chapter I forget. I think it is also a very easy chapter. Biology chapters are very easy. Okay, that's it, my kids. This test for this chapter also I will conduct. Which day? Saturday, fine, I think. Okay, Saturday evening I will conduct one test, and this will be very very easy. Try to score maximum marks. Okay, so almost the news from the government already came. The lockdown 4.0 is on its way. Maybe within 2 weeks, school and all will be reopening for you. All the best anyway. Stay home, stay safe. Okay. I hope that you all are feeling very well. Everything is fine here. I hope everything is fine there also. So Mithun Raj signing off from this part of the world. That's the end of this chapter. Okay. Next day, next new chapter, okay, of biology. Till then, stay at home, stay safe. Bye bye, my dear kids. Bye and Jai Hind.